Well, Jackson family is looking to expose what it considers a gray area in missing persons investigations. In fact, it's an issue that could affect any of your families dealing with a missing loved one.
Jimmie Jay Lee was kidnapped and killed more than 3 years ago in Oxford. His family says tech companies refused to help find their missing son. 3 on your side's Quentin Smith is at the state capitol where lawmakers are hearing about this issue.
And Quentin, what change does the family want to see now?
Well, Howard, when investigators first started working this case more than 3 years ago, they ran into some roadblocks. They say tech companies refused to hand over cell phone data. As a result, Jay Lee's family members are now calling for new laws to be passed on this issue. We spoke with state lawmakers, and they tell us that type of change cannot happen inside the state capitol building. It'll have to happen inside the one in Washington.
We tried to get login information.
Standing with family, Jimmie Lee Sr. advocates on behalf of his son, Jimmie Jay Lee, who was kidnapped and killed back in 2022. Lee is now calling for a new law that would require tech companies to share phone data with police and parents, something he says did not happen right away in his son's case.
Truth be told, I don't think Apple would have been responsible for my son's death, but they are definitely responsible for his decaying body laying out there in that field.
The proposed legislation is for a missing persons case involving anyone 21 years old or younger. He wants it called the Jay Lee Information Bill. It would make it illegal for a phone, social media, or any tech company to refuse usernames and passwords to law enforcement or parents or guardians of the child. Under this proposal, information can only be released if there's a combined effort from law enforcement and the parent or guardian working together. Neither party can be granted this information without the other.
And just imagining being a father and your child is missing and they're telling you, well, we got to wait on this and we got to wait on that. That's, it's very emotional seeing that, but it's equally painful knowing that it's not anything that we can do on the state level. But I find hope in knowing that there is something that we could possibly do on the federal level.
State Representative Fabian Nelson says that federal law was called the Electronic Communications Privacy Act of 1986. It protects people's private electronic communications. Nelson believes that law needs to be amended. However, he says that can only happen from the federal level, which is something he is willing to advocate for on behalf of the Lee family.
Work with the family, with our U.S. delegation, to get them some results that will actually be beneficial versus saying, okay, I'll introduce a bill which I know is not going to work because it will contradict federal legislation.
And it's our job to find solutions to these ideas. But again, for them to turn such a terrible event and the agony and the pain that they've been experiencing over the past couple of few months into action is something that really inspires me to figure out how can we make this statute more robust.
Now, as things currently stand, tech companies cannot turn over cell phone data without consent or a subpoena, a warrant, or a court order. We're live outside the state capitol tonight. Quentin Smith, 3 on your side.
And we want to hear from you right now over on WLBT.com. Do you support enhancing legislation for missing person cases? Just scan the QR code right there on your screen. It will take you to our homepage where you can cast your vote. We will bring you those results later tonight.